now. And Scott, we're back at this again. You've always been incredibly generous with your time. Can't tell you how much we appreciate these visits each week during the season. Congratulations. What a great way to start the year.
Yeah, Richard, it was great to get baseball back going across the country, and particularly here in Hattiesburg. We sold a record number of season tickets this year, so we knew there was a lot of excitement going into this opening weekend, and it showed. I think our overall attendance for the 3 games was over 14,000. So we're very proud of that, and I think our fan base went away real happy.
We were just looking at the attendance numbers right before the break. I mean, 4,500 on Friday, and then 4,700 on Saturday, and 4,800 on Sunday. And for the most part, the weather cooperated. What did it feel like being back in the ballpark?
Well, it's just great. I know last year our last game was there and in Oxford in that regional, and it was just an exciting regional, and one that we didn't want to stop playing. So we had a little momentum there at the end, even though we lost that last game to a very good Ole Miss team. But I feel like we just rolled it right back in this weekend where we left off. And certainly our guys, we returned a lot of them. So they were eager to get back out there and continue what they finished last year.
It took me a minute because I ran out of fingers and toes, but I was looking at the strikeout and walk numbers from the weekend and kind of adding all of those up. I came up with 38 strikeouts and 4 walks as a staff over the course of 3 games. Does my math check out there?
No, you're right. And 1 hit by pitch. So, there was only 5 freebies in there, but our guys really pounded the zone. I was really proud of them, and we were able to get a few guys in there. We would have liked to have gotten more, honestly, but our starters on Friday and Saturday, they both went 6 innings. Our starter on Sunday went 5 1/3. We were able to get a few more guys in on Sunday, but overall, I couldn't be more pleased with the outings that our staff had, not only the starters, but the guys coming out of the bullpen. They really came in and just picked up where the last one left off.
Scott, you'll forgive me. This is probably a bad question because I'm kind of painting you in a corner here, but after the opening weekend, when you walk away from the ball yard, do you feel better about your pitching or your offense? And I ask that knowing that the guys pitched well. We just talked about that, but then you also had double-digit hits in all 3 games.
Yeah, well, certainly offense has been a little bit slower than the pitching side of us. Overall, Richard, I felt really good with how we played. We played 27 innings. Unfortunately, 2 of those 27, we had 6 errors, 2 in 1 inning in that first game, and 4 in another inning in the second game. But outside of that, we played tremendous defense. I really don't know what happened. It just kind of snowballed, and we've all seen that before in baseball, and we'll see it again. But I don't want to take away the fact that we played really well outside of those 2 innings. We ran the bases extremely well. I felt like we had some really good at-bats. Maybe sometimes we didn't have anything to show for it in the statistics, but I was running pitch counts up, fouling pitches off, extending those at-bats, squaring balls up. Those are all quality at-bats that we as coaches look for out of our hitters, and I thought we did a really good job with that. But our pitching staff certainly – last year it led the way, and this year in the first 3 games it certainly did it again.
You lost some names that had kind of become household names, especially on the weekends in terms of pitching. But Ben Etheridge is a name that we know, that we recognize. He's the guy that you ran out there on Friday afternoon. Do you feel like he is ready and is equipped and is capable of kind of being that front end guy that can carry you through 14 weeks?
Well, we're certainly looking at that right now. Everything changes, particularly, in this game, baseball. But Ben was a young man who, in the shortened year of 2020 with COVID, he was a freshman All-American, mostly out of the pen. Last year he had 16 appearances, 14 of those were starts. And what we saw last year is 4-game weekend conference series. So it's a little different this year. We've gone back to 3, but you know what you're going to get when Ben takes the mound. You're going to get a quality pitcher who's going to throw strikes. Once again, he covered 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, no walks, and 1 hit batter that he actually slipped on the delivery. When I saw his plant foot hit, I saw him kind of slip, and the ball just kind of sailed on him and resulted in a hits batter. But I really felt like Ben did not have his best stuff, Richard, on Friday, but that's who he is. The best pitchers pitch when they don't have their best stuff, and they know how to win, and that's what he did on Friday with his outing.
So you didn't necessarily have one of those games where it was a high-leverage situation at the end. Do you feel confident right now in who you're going to hand the ball to when the game's on the line and say, hey, go get those hardest 3 outs for me?
No, I mean, and it's not that I don't. It's not that I'm not confident. I just don't know if we have that specific person that we're going to lean on. I think we have some candidates that are potential guys that we'll try to see how they fit in. But I think we've got a lot of quality arms. I don't think we're in a position where, like Sandlin was, his freshman year, where we handed him the ball, or Stanley his junior year, and we said, hey, the back end's yours. We're still trying to see who that is, but we've got some subjects that certainly have an opportunity to do that for us.
When I was looking at the starting lineup on Friday, I thought, good grief, Gabe Montenegro is probably getting retirement benefits at this point. It feels like he's one of those guys that's been here forever. It's got to feel good to jot that lineup down, and you plug his name there in at the top, and you know what you're getting.
Well, it really does. He told me earlier this spring that he said, Coach, I've been here at Southern Miss 25% of my life. And so,
wow.
He's been here. This is his 6th year. So we've been so fortunate. He's such a fine young man, a very good baseball player that just loves the game. He loves to practice. He loves anything about and everything about baseball. So to pencil him in for the last year in our leadoff spot it makes it fun to watch that young man go out and play.
Scott Berry visiting with us on the Farm Bureau phone line, talking about the opening weekend and looking ahead as well. I'm not going to read your schedule off to you. I know you know what it is down the line. But we were talking about this early last week. When you look at what's ahead for you guys, obviously you have the midweek games with South Alabama like you do every year, and they were a little bit of a thorn in your side last year. Jacksonville State, good program. Got the Bulldogs in Pearl on March 2nd. Got to go to Lafayette for a 3-game series, future conference mate. Tulane in a midweek series. Dallas Baptist, with what that program has done, you're going to be tested when you get to conference play.
Well, there's no doubt. The easiest part of our schedule is behind us now, I can assure you. Everything from here on out is smoke coming at us. So, but you know what? That's the way we need it to be. I mean, we need to prepare ourselves for conference. And, if you want to be one of those 64 teams at the end of the year that are invited to continue to play, then you've got to be able to beat those kind of people. And certainly, we have a competitive group of young men that believe they can win and should win. And I think that's the most important. You've got to believe that you should win. And that's what we try to instill here.
Scott, when you build a schedule like this, is it about being one of those 64 teams and preparing you for that? Or is it about putting yourself in a position to be one of those 16 teams that host? You're challenging yourself, but if you navigate this with that type of non-conference strength of schedule and where your RPI will be, I mean, does that go into the thought process? Hey, let's not give them any reason to tell us no.
Right. I think it's a little bit of both, honestly, Richard. I mean, we all know that if you're going to be one of those 16 teams, then you have to be at the top, and you have to remain at the top for a long time. And if you're one of those 64, you've got to give them a reason to include you in there if you're not an automatic, you're a tournament winner. So, all that is built into the schedule. It's, scheduling is no crystal ball. I mean, you kind of go off from a 4-year history of programs that you're bringing in to try to see what their RPI is over that, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to, probably carry you across that finish line and into a new season more than anything if you're an at-large.
Great as always, Coach, to visit with you. 6 o'clock tomorrow night, South Alabama. Is the weather going to hold out and be okay? Hopefully.
We hope so. We're thankful that we have the synthetic grass, so that doesn't affect us too much. If it stops raining, we can play. So those worries are behind us about tarp pools and wet fields. We just need to stop raining and quit lightning, and we'll be able to